And welcome to tutorial 10 in the miter box series. In this tutorial we are going to hopefully install the hinge in the box and have it operate. It's pretty tricky. With some luck we'll get it done. We'll see as we go. I'll tell you a few things and we'll see if we're successful. So if you followed along so far, you will have brought a hinge in, and we had that on the class. It was already modeled for you and you could just bring it in. It was on the H drive, the shared drive. So just one thing before we start, I'll grab this hinge and bring it over here so we can see it. My hinge is kind of facing in the right direction for what I want. If yours was somehow brought in a little differently, you can head over to here where you brought the hinge in and right click on the hinge, and then you can move the hinge and you can select rotate, and you can pick the axis of rotation, which is what I'm picking now, and it's the center down here. And then when you do that, you should be able to grab this little handle and move it around. So I'm just going to escape out of that because I don't need to. Mine's kind of pointing the right way. So you can move it that way. So you'd probably move in 90-degree increments to get it right. I'm sure it's close, but anyway, here we go. So I got my hinge, and I'm going to put it in the hole. So we know how to do that, right? We know how to assemble things. So we're going to assemble a rigid joint. So a joint. Sure, why not? And that joint is going to be the first. I want to move the hinge to the box, so I'm going to go grab the bottom of the hinge. Now, if for some reason things were in your way when you're trying to do this, don't forget you can just switch them off like that. And so that's out of my way, and I just go in here. Oh, as I'm picking, notice I've got several centers I can pick from. See that target in the middle? I don't want anything other than the lowest one, so we'll be very careful. We'll pick that. So I got my first pick, and if I got it wrong, I could just X and try again. So there's my first pick. I think I got it right. And now, get my box oriented right. I am going to put it way down in the bottom of the hole, which is like this. Click. Now notice it only moved half of the hinge. It does that to save computer power. It's too much, well, it's unnecessary math to move the whole thing. So they just move part of it, and the other part will catch up once I accept this. Now notice my hinge is pretty far down in there. I must have drilled my hole a little too deep. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring this up using the Z axis here. Offset Z, see it's offsetting now, 0.2 inches. We're going to bring it up a little bit just till it sticks out, because what we want, I'll look at the right view, is imagine the other part of the hinge is in here. It's going to be in the middle of the lid, and it needs to be high enough up so that the middle of the lid can clear the bottom part of your box here. So I think it needs to go up even a bit more, but maybe finer now. I'll key it in. Let's go 41. We'll try that and see how it goes. We'll push OK. I can always go back and edit this, so I'm going to push OK for now. There's my hinge, and hopefully the distance from there to there is at least 3/16 of an inch so that they don't collide with each other when we put them together. Okay, next part. This hinge right now is joined, and if I grab it, I'm just moving the whole box around. It would be nice if it operated the way it's supposed to. Well, the way to get that to happen is the back here, the back of my box. I'm going to right click on it, and I am going to ground that. And capture position, sure. Now this part here doesn't move anymore. I can click and hold, but it's grounded. It's like stuck to earth, so it doesn't move. But now the hinge, since this part of the hinge is grounded and doesn't move, this part can start to rotate. And that's pretty cool to be able to do that. So I'm going to put it all the way up just to make it easy on myself for the next move. Okay, next move. We are going to assemble a joint, and we're going to bring capture position, and we're going to turn the lid on, and we are going to go find that lid and the appropriate hole, and we're going to pick that as our first. Now see the bottom coming up? If the bottom's in your way, don't forget you can switch it off for the moment, go in and find what you need for that. So I got my first one. So now what I have to do is turn the bottom back on, because that contains my hinge, and now we'll zoom in and find the top edge of the hinge. There we go. and they're going to come together. Remember, the whole thing's not coming together, just part of it to show me, see if I like it. I'm going to look at it from the right, and I'm going to zoom in. And look, I do have, just the way it is now, this little gap that I think for now is pretty good. This will be enough gap to allow the hinge to operate, so I'm going to push OK. And now let's see if it works. Oop. And now the hinge doesn't quite work. So we have to go figure out, oh, wait a minute, it does work, but it's not quite right. And that's because when I modeled the hinge, I just chose like 90 degrees of movement, and apparently that's this 90 degrees. So now we have to fix that. So I'm going to go into my hinge where I found it. Notice I'm only working with one right now. If you have two, in a moment I'm going to ask you to delete the other one, and we're going to copy this one. But anyway, we have just one. I'm going to go into it here, expand it. There we go. And I'm going to look down here for joints. There we go. Expand that. And this one's the revolution or revolve joint. I'm going to double click that. And now if I look at it right view, I can see that I have a flag vertical and I have a flag here. And that's kind of representing the motion that I have right now. Well, if I move those flags around in relation to each other, it looks kind of funny right now. But if I do this, and I push animate, see the hinge does not quite what I want. So let's go back and do it this way. Hit stop the animation. Let's go this way. And let's go like that. So we're looking for 90 degrees. Push OK. See what we got now? Oh, that's not good at all, is it? Okay, one more try. And we're going to put this right back to here. And we're going to bring this one back down to here. And I think it was, if I recall, I wanted this to be at 0 and this to be at 90. There we go. Let's try that. Okay. When I do that, aha, I got it. Now that's what I mean about this tutorial being a little tricky. There's a few moves in here that are just, they can be very frustrating. Especially since you guys didn't build the hinge yourself from scratch in your drawings. You're kind of bringing one in, so you have to adjust that revolution there. But give it a try. Now the next thing I do is you can leave it like this. You don't need to have two hinges in the box. But obviously to complete this, it would be nice to have two. So to get the other one in, what you're going to do is you're going to right click on hinge while you've got bottom selected here as active. Right click on hinge, copy it, and then of course paste new. So we have another hinge come in. There it is. And you can move it around if you want, but we'll just push capture position OK. And oh, I'll grab it now. It's apparently, I should have moved it. Now it's sitting right on top of the other hinge. Fantastic. So now I got to go in there and grab it. I guess it's this one. There we go. And bring it out here. There. Okay. So now I'm going to stick that one in just like before, but this one's a little trickier because I've got things in the way. So the first thing I'm going to do is stick the hinge in the bottom of the box. I'm going to turn off the lid. I'm going to assemble a joint. Yep, and we're going to zoom in and grab this part. Oh, I'm going to have to check again. I think I missed it. There we go. Come on. Boom, got it. I'm going to go stick that in the bottom of the box. See if I can do this quickly. So when you're watching, you're probably tired of watching. Oh, I can't remember how high up I went. I think it was 4.42 or something like that when I was raising this up. 4.2, this kind of matters. And this is where it gets tricky. If your two hinges are in disagreement with each other, your lid will freeze. It won't work. So we're going to have to get them doing exactly the same thing. Now, the revolutions should be the same because we copied and pasted. The only thing that we might have is different heights and different points of rigid assembly. So let's try our last bit here, which is turn the lid back on, assemble a joint, head up to the lid. Now we have to turn the bottom off to do this because I have to go find that hole in the lid. So now I'll go in there and grab the hole, if I can. Get this to roll around again. There we go. Find the center of the bottom like that. That's the first part. And now I got to go indicate the second part that that's supposed to attach to. So I'll turn the bottom back on, and we'll turn the lid off this time because I want to be able to get to that. And we'll go in and grab this part here. Oh, not that part. There. Okay. And oh, I got a warning already, so that means I probably have broken this. Let's see what happens. Turn the lid back on. Oh, maybe the warning was just the component you're using is... Okay, so this is what I was afraid of. Something is disagreeing, and I'm going to have to spend a little time to figure out which one. It might have been the where I made my rigid joints here, but you can see the joints are all red. They're very unhappy with each other. So when that happens, the lid still works. Let's go out here for a second and hit escape and go top level so we can see it all. The lid still works, or it should still work. Hang on. Oh, okay, maybe it doesn't. Okay, so I've really broken it. So the last thing I can do is undo the joint that I just made, which is up under here probably. Not those ones. Underneath hinge maybe. Not those ones, those are my hinge joints. So it must be up top level. I wasn't following as I was doing it. It's got to be that one, yeah. I can undo that. Delete. There we go. And now the box works, and the hinge is in there, but you can see it's kind of broken. It will take a little bit of fiddle farting around. Let me go see what this looks like. Edit the joint. It was an offset of, oh, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have offset it last time I did it. Maybe it's right because I copied it. I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm not going to spend a bunch of time in here. I would probably just fart around with it for a few minutes and probably get it. But in the end, it does the same thing. So there's our hinge in our box. Oh, I can see the problem now. Can you see this one here? The hinge is, there's the edge of it right there. You can see it'll highlight it. And this one over here is at a totally different height. So whatever height that is wrong. They have to be exactly the same height, otherwise they won't operate in unison and the lid won't open. So that's it. If you get that far, at least you have a box with a lid that opens, and you can try and get your two hinges to be exactly the same height, offsetting your rigid joints. That's it for now. Hope you managed to get through that. It's a little bit of a trickier one, and pretty much you got your box now. The next thing will be drawing some plans. I can also show you how to put the splines in if you want. It is kind of more of an advanced move, and I'm not expecting that at this point as far as putting in the splines and finishing the box. Oh, and then the last thing is, if you want to make it look like a box, I'll turn off the joints here for a second. All you have to do is go up under Modify, head down to Appearance, pulls up an appearance menu. Make sure you're on bodies and components up here selected. Head down to wood. Well, I'm assuming you want to make it look like wood. Choose a wood, drag it over, and look, it's starting to look like wood. And there we go. There is a way to rotate the grain. If you call me over, I can show you, because this grain is kind of going the wrong direction. And well, actually I'll do it right now. You just double click on this and you can get these details. This is the cherry that I chose, or was it mahogany? Oh, mahogany, there it is. And then what you can do is you can rotate this way, right, and get it to go in the right direction. You can also change the scale so that the grain's not so big, you know, whatever you think looks good, to give it a representation of what you think it should be. So okay, that is all, and make your box look like a box, make your lid work, and then it's time to make some plans.